Hello again, Ian Stokey with Mastermind Games, back with the Mechanical Attendant from Malifaux, Blackened Steel 09205. So, one of Charles Hoffman's creations, the Mechanical Attendant is basically an assistant to him, and has an insane number of tools tucked up inside of it. And because of rumors that many machinists have put a bounty on it so they can study and reverse engineer it, Hoffman has equipped it with a gun. But it is his totem, and at least based on second edition rules, is a support piece, if nothing else. To be fair, a lot of totems are nothing more than support pieces. That said, they should not be underestimated. Because while a support piece may not do something directly, what it can do indirectly through, say, buffs or debuffs can usually be pretty nasty. And I'm just going to get a nice solid coat on this to start. That is way too thick right there. I wanted some paint in the middle there, but not so much that it clogged up. And that's a nice solid coat over the bulk of it. We'll be picking out some details later, but plate mail metal, and start on the firearm. Okay, I'm just going to run my brush through that hole and try to get some of the extra paint out. Just blowing through there, trying to thin that out. And I'm not doing well, I'll be picking out the bullets in the magazine in a minute, once this all dries, but it's going to be a very simple color scheme, so quick and easy. And I'm going to let that dry before moving on, but so far so good. Oh, come on. Next up, Old Bronze 09197. That went out a little erratically. With these paints, a little bit'll do ya, so bear that in mind. Okay, so we'll just get the bullet in the magazine. And I'm going to pick in at some of the joints here. Yeah. Description, or rather, sort of a vignette about it, states that the Mechanical Attendant has more tools coming out of hidden compartments all over than logically should be able to fit, which is in large part why there are many interested in finding out how it works. Let's see here. Well, case in point, 2 segments of this arm, 3 on this, so obviously there's more to be seen underneath. That's what I'm forgetting, the elbow. I'm trying to keep my hands out of the camera plane, but it's not easy with what I have to work with here. that's not bad. So, last base coat's going to be Uniform Gray. This is another Army Painter Warpaints color. I just grabbed the wrong bottle. Here it is. No, there we go. Oh, I'm getting tired. And you're going to want just enough water in your brush to keep it damp. Just enough to thin the paint out, not an excessive amount of water. Not on the base coats. Now, your shading, you will want to use quite a bit of water, at least 1 part water, 1 part paint. Your highlight, you're going to use no water. Your base coat is the color you want. The shade will be done in a darker value of your color. The highlight, a lighter value. And once that dries, I can start shading. Alright, time to shade. I'll start with Blackened Steel 09205. And see if I can pull this off like I want to. Thinning it with 1 part water to 1 part paint. Now for the gamble. Adamantium Black 09124. Start on the body here. Shade 1 area at a time. Being careful on the arms so that I don't get the bronze in the joints. Overall, just letting this flow. You want to start with the shading from your highest areas and go down to your lowest. Base coats are going to be low to high, and your highlights are going to be low to high as well. Sure I'm not dropping hundreds of frames a second. It's been one of the major glitches I've had on these videos so far. The new camera, new program are definitely helping, but there's still more to do. Still need to figure out how to solve the focusing issues. Being very careful right here with the hand holding the gun. If I pull this off, I should be able to do the shading in just 2 attempts. You generally want to avoid shading adjacent areas because the paint can and will blend in, which you can make that work for you. So it's something you could experiment with. Just warning you, it's something that can and will happen. I use the empty brush to suck some of the paint out of there so the bronze doesn't get obscured. Okay, let that dry, move on in a bit. Alright, everything's dry. So, matte light, I'm going to get set up for a lighting effect. And just getting this little ball in the center here. And you look, that'll be dry by the time I'm wrapped up with the rest. Aged Pewter 09196. Still giving me some grief. And filling in the joints. Just a little dot's all it takes. Let it flow all over those lines. Oh, I nicked that a bit. Let's blot that out. That happens. Okay. And now Stormy Gray 09088. There we go. And Blood Red 09003 for the eye, or optic, whatever you want to call it. Now for a lighting effect, you'll want to do 2 to 3 parts water for 1 part paint. Get it nice and thin. Key is to let some of the light show through. That's not too bad. So once that dries, I can highlight and detail and wrap up. Alright, time to highlight and wrap up. So starting with Tarnished Brass 09198, using a dry brushing technique. So I'll get that out the way. Oh, just bumped my camera. Let's readjust there. Want a ragged feather brush, kind of like this one. No water. You're going to rub out most of your paint on a paper towel till it looks like there's nothing left. Just pull that out the way. And lightly dust the area to be affected. I'm concerning myself with the most readily visible areas only. Okay. And now, plate mail metal. This should do nicely. Again, a pretty simple color scheme, but it works. Going against raised areas like the rim around the eye. Refreshing as needed. And True Silver 09207. Okay. And Misty Gray 09090. If I can get a grip on a brush. And this basing is just something hand sculpted I do. And now switching to a flathead brush. If I can get a grip. Matte black. Before I go into a tiny dot of the black on the barrel of the gun. And now just covering up the edge of the base, trying to avoid hitting my basing insert here. If you're using flock or sand or something, you'll do this before applying that. And that's that. The Mechanical Attendant. Continuing on with Hoffman's box set next. There's the second edition one. All that's left is going to be to varnish it. Until next time, I am Ian Stuckey with Mastermind Games, signing out.